Today on Variant, we're counting down our list of the 10 best Marvel stories of all time. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I can't wait to show you guys the new stuff we've been cooking up over here at Variant. I'm your cuddly host, Harris Quinones. It's Marvel month around here, my friends. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I haven't slept in weeks. So I don't know about you, but that sounds like the perfect recipe for our list of the 10 best Marvel stories. Don't try to make sense of it, just go with it. Anyway, like our list of top 10 DC stories last month, Marvel has no shortage of its own great comic book characters and stories over their many years of publishing. So just like we did with the DC Comics list, we intentionally left out all the major Marvel crossover events, like Civil War, Annihilation, and Infinity Gauntlet, to narrow the list to focus on stories that were contained within a single title. At some point, we'll also do a list of the best major events / crossover arcs for both Marvel and DC, but that'll be in future episodes. Before we dive in, let's start with some worthy opponents and honorable mentions who didn't make our top 10. In order of awesome, they would be the Marvel's Limited Series, X-Men Age of Apocalypse, Spider-Man Back in Black, Avengers Disassembled, and Iron Man Demon in a Bottle. Those are all great stories that you should also check out if you haven't already. But now, well, you know what time it is. Leading off at number 10 is Avengers Under Siege in Avengers 273 through 277 in 1986. In this story, written by Roger Stern, Baron Zemo's son is driven by revenge and reassembles a group of villains called the Masters of Evil to take down the Earth's mightiest heroes. They nearly succeeded as the Avengers Mansion is raided and destroyed. Several Avengers, including Hercules, are nearly beaten to death. Captain Marvel is trapped by a brainwashed Blackout in the Dimension of Darkness, and Captain America is taken hostage. At one point, Baron Zemo is even seen wielding Captain America's shield. In the end, the Avengers managed to defeat Zemo and the Masters of Evil, but at a great cost. Under Siege is a great classic Marvel story that's a lot of fun to read and set the stage for bigger changes to the team. At number 9 is not only the best Iron Man story ever told, it also introduced an updated origin of the character that the MCU drew most from for Robert Downey Jr.'s take on the role of Tony Stark. I'm talking about Iron Man Extremis, written by Warren Ellis between 2004 and 2006. The Extremis story plays out over 6 issues and pretty much gives you everything. An awesome concept, great writing, amazing artwork, and a nanotech virus that allows Tony Stark to mentally control the Iron Man armor. Just hearing myself say it makes me all weepy, but the action in this story is so good and it's combined with a satisfying ending, all while creating a great jumping on point for new Iron Man readers. Not a bad run. Landing at number 8 is none other than Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's Galactus trilogy, published in Fantastic Four issues 48 through 50 in 1966. With this 3-part story arc, the legendary team of Lee and Kirby put together one of Marvel's all-time best multi-issue stories, while simultaneously introducing 2 brand new and now iconic characters into the Marvel Universe, Galactus and the Silver Surfer. It should go without saying, but this story heavily influenced the entire Marvel Universe going forward. Not to mention both Galactus and Silver Surfer have since gone on to play huge roles in Marvel Comics, as well as become fan favorites. The Galactus trilogy is an absolute classic and a really fun read. If you haven't read it yourself, for God's sake, man, you've had like 51 years. What are you waiting for? Many of you would agree that the X-Men probably have the largest number of must-read Marvel stories, so it should be no surprise that coming in at number 7 is X-Men Days of Future Past. This epic 1981 story found in the Uncanny X-Men issues 141 and 142 was one of the best in a long series of great X-Men storytelling by writer Chris Claremont. In it, we jump back and forth between 1980 and a dystopian future in 2013, where robot sentinels have taken over North America and essentially wiped out all mutants. So Kitty Pryde, with the help of other X-Men, attempt to prevent a future Holocaust by altering the past. This concept of mutants traveling through time to affect the future has been copied numerous times since Days of Future Past was published. But this was the first and arguably the best, leading to it being adapted to a live-action movie in 2014 and landing it safely at the number 7 spot. At number 6 is my favorite Captain America story, and yet another on our list to become a major live-action movie. I'm of course talking about The Winter Soldier, written by Ed Brubaker. It's really more of a saga than a story arc, as the narrative really unfolded over the course of a couple different story arcs. But it's without a doubt the largest defining story for Captain America in the modern era. It reintroduced us to Cap's long-lost friend, Bucky Barnes, as a brainwashed Soviet super assassin, and laid the foundation for the massive Marvel Civil War crossover event. The genius storytelling, crazy twists, deep characters, and overall impact on Cap makes this easily one of Marvel's all-time best. I dare say, it's amazeballs. But I'm about to dive headfirst into our top 5. But first, how about some Verve? The team over at Crunchyroll just launched an awesome new digital platform called Verve, spelled VRV. Verve features channels from many of your favorite content creators all in one place. And when you click on the link in the description below, you'll get a 7-day free trial to watch a ton of great content, like Rooster Teeth's awesome anime Ruby, which I recently recommended on the show, but also content from Crunchyroll, Cartoon Hangover, Machinima, and Nerdist, just to name a few, all ad-free. And let me tell you, if you're a fan of Attack on Titan like I am, with Verve you can watch Season 2 right now, 100% dubbed in English on the Funimation channel. That's right, no subtitles. Verve is available for multiple devices, so you can watch it pretty much from anywhere. Not to mention, you can create your own watch list and comment on videos while you feast on all your favorite shows. Download the Verve app now on your iPhone, iPad, Android, or even your Xbox or PlayStation by clicking the link in the description and get a free 7-day trial of the Verve Combo Pack. Get awesome content and support the creators we all know and love. You can thank me later. Smashing in at number 5 is the coolest Hulk concept, story, battle royale, just everything of all time, forever. And that is Planet Hulk / World War Hulk. Yes, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk are technically two different story arcs, but they tie so closely together that World War Hulk is just really the continuation of the Planet Hulk story. So I'm counting them as one for our list. Listen, I've created a human child, okay? You know what I'm doing. Anyway, this Hulky epic was written by Greg Pak from 2006 to 2008 and follows the Hulk after he is banished from Earth by the Illuminati, only to land on the planet Sakaar, where he becomes a gladiator and battles his way to become king. As king, the Hulk gets married and is about to have a child when tragedy strikes and he blames the heroes of Earth for his pain, which leads to World War Hulk, where he wages all-out war on Earth and tears through the list of heroes like a jackhammer. This story is compelling, it's suspenseful, it's brutal, and violent. It's just beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. It's also spawned several sequels and has had a significant impact on the Marvel Universe. In fact, we're gonna get our first live-action glimpse at Gladiator Hulk in Thor Ragnarok this November. And to that I say, yes, please and thank you. At number 4 is Frank Miller's 1986 Daredevil Born Again storyline. I can say pretty much all that needs to be said about Born Again by telling you it is widely considered to be the best and most influential work of Miller's career, considering that some of his other works include The Dark Knight Returns, 300, Sin City, and Batman Year One. I say that's quite a statement. Born Again is the quintessential Daredevil story, and Miller's masterful deconstruction of the character seriously influenced the darker trend in comics that started in the late 80s and into the 90s. In this series, Daredevil starts out as righteous and is slowly torn apart by Kingpin situation by situation, until he no longer recognizes himself. If that sounds familiar, that's because Born Again was used as the primary inspiration for Marvel's Daredevil series on Netflix. Bottom line, this is a must-read and easily takes number 4 on our list. Coming in at number 3 is without a doubt one of the most memorable Spider-Man stories ever written. Kraven's Last Hunt, written by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck in 1987. The story arc was initially told across 3 different Spider-Man books: Web of Spider-Man issues 31 and 32, The Amazing Spider-Man issues 293 and 294, and Spectacular Spider-Man issues 131 and 132. Ironically, this Spider-Man story is much more about the main villain, Kraven the Hunter, than it is about Spider-Man. It explores the concept of what would happen to a villain if he achieved his greatest goal by killing the hero. I won't say anything more so it's not ruined for any of you who haven't read it yet, but it's without a doubt one of the darkest and most thought-provoking Marvel stories to date, especially for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. At runner-up is another X-Men classic from Chris Claremont and John Byrne, and that is the Dark Phoenix Saga in Uncanny X-Men issues 129 and 130 in 1980. I probably don't need to say much about this story because it's one of the most well-known and covered comic book stories, period, including multiple cartoon series, X-Men Last Stand movie in 2006, as well as the upcoming take on the story in the rebooted X-Men movie franchise. The Dark Phoenix Saga focuses around the unleashing of the Phoenix through the corruption of Jean Grey, and it deals with love, loss, and the pain that can come with sacrifice in a way that few comics have ever attempted. It's just a brilliantly made story that will likely continue to be retold across all forms of media for a very long time. Taking the top spot at number 1 is none other than The Night Gwen Stacy Died, written by Jerry Conway and Gil Kane in Amazing Spider-Man issues 121 and 122 in 1973. Like our previous pick, this story needs no real introduction as it is widely regarded as one of the most important stories in comic book history. The death of Peter Parker's first love during the battle between Spider-Man and Green Goblin really marked the end of innocence in comics in a way, and the beginning of the grittier and more violent Bronze Age where no characters were off limits. Not to mention the question left in Spider-Man's mind over whether it was Gwen's fall from the bridge or the sudden stop caused by the webbing while trying to save her that broke her neck. In some ways, the lasting effects of Gwen Stacy's death in the story has played an even bigger role in who Peter Parker Spider-Man has become than the death of Uncle Ben. Simply put, the night Gwen Stacy died is a big freaking deal, and our top pick of the greatest Marvel stories of all time. And now that you have our picks, be sure to tell us what your 10 favorite Marvel stories are in the comment section down below. First up for Wednesday, June 21st, we have Darth Vader issue 2. In this issue, we follow Vader as he learns a new way, the way of Darth Sidious and his newly formed empire. Here we have Weapons of Mutant Destruction Alpha. Their goal is a simple one: eradicate all mutants. And they're starting their hunt with the most dangerous group of mutants on the planet Earth: Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Domino, Lady Deathstrike, Warpath, and apparently the Hulk. And finally, we have Batman issue 25. In this exercise issue, Bruce Wayne narrates a harrowing, never-before-told story of the Dark Knight's greatest failure and the horrors it unleashed. And that'll bring another episode of Variant to a close. But remember, you can always like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comics related. You can also follow Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics, or me on Twitter at Eris_Quinones. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics.